So in continuation to the previous, right? So this is what how to implement the inheritance. So in which you can see here child class ID is initialized with 7 and parent class ID is initialized with 1 with 91, and both are members of the child class because child class is derived from the base class, and now the output which is going to be displayed by this is so OB object1.idc is 7 and object1.idp is 91 will be displayed here, right? So this is the output which we are going to get from the previous code. So next, modes of inheritance. So modes of inheritance in syntax of inheritance implementation, we have the access mode. Access mode means, so when you deriving a child class from the parent class, in what are the various modes in which you can derive the child class from the parent class. So you can derive the child class in public mode, you can derive the child class in protected mode, you can derive the child class in private mode, right? So there are three modes of inheritance because these are access specifiers which we have to use in place of mode, access mode in inheritance. See, what will happen when we derive a child class in public mode? You can see in this example here, if you derive a subclass from a public base class, then all the public members, because every class will have the three categories of members: public members, private members, and protected members, right? Suppose base class is having public members, private members, and protected members. So what they will becomes when they are derived in the child class, right? If you derive the child class in public mode, see, you can see if you derive a subclass from public base class, that means if you are deriving a child class in public mode, right? Then public members of the base class will become public in the derived class, and protected member of the base class will become protected members in the derived class here, right? So all the public members and all the protected members of base class becomes a public members and protected members of the derived class, but the private members of base class will be asterisk here, right? Those cannot be inherited. See, if you derive the child class in protected mode, what will happen? If you derive a subclass from a protected base class, the access mode is protected, then both public members and protected members of the base class will become the protected members in the derived class. So all the public members and protected members of the base class also becomes a protected members of the derived class. In public mode, what will happen? Public members becomes public, protected members become protected. Whereas in protected mode, if you derive a class in protected mode, public and protected members of the base class becomes the protected members of the derived class here. So next, private mode. If you derive a subclass from a private base class, then both public members and protected members of the base class will become private members in the derived class. Whatever public members are there, protected members are there in the base class becomes a private members in the derived class here, right? So these are the three modes of operations. You can see in summary the table what they will become here. You can see this is type of inheritance, base class member access specifiers. That means we have the base class members are public. All the public members of the base class becomes a public, sorry, these are the base class member access specifiers here, and type of inheritance. That means here base class is having public, protected, and private members are there, right? So there are three members in the base class. If your inheritance mode is public mode, that means if you are deriving the child class from base class in a public mode, the public member of the base class becomes a public, protected member of the base class becomes a protected, but private member of the base class will not be accessible here. Similarly, if you derive a new class or child class in protected mode from the base class, then public member of the base class becomes protected, protected member of the base class becomes protected, and private members are not accessible here. These are hidden. Okay. In all the cases, mostly the private members are not accessible. And if you derive the child class in private mode, so then all public member of the public and protected members of the base class, these are public and protected members of the base class, becomes a private members in the derived class, but private members of the base class are not accessible. You can see even in public, private, protected and private modes of inheritance, all base class private members are not accessible here, right? That point you have to remember. So these are the different modes of inheritances. So let us see one example regarding this one here. Modes of inheritance. See, we have this is a class A, this is the base class, and its public member is X, protected member is Y, private member is Z here. So class A declaration is closed here, which is having three types of members: public members, private members, protected members. Public member is X, protected member is Y, private member is Z here. And let the class B, which is inheriting class A in public mode here. That is, class B is derived from A in which mode here? Public mode, right? So then what they will becomes here? The public member of X, what is the public member of A? X becomes public. Protected member Y becomes protected. Z is not accessible from B, because Z is what? Private member here, right? So this is class B. And similarly class C, you can see in the class C. So class C, which is inherited from class A, in which mode? Protected mode. When it is inherited in protected mode from class A, so X is what? Public member of the base class A, and Y is protected member. So both became the protected, but Z is private member of class A, which is not accessible here, right? And D. So now D is inherited in private mode. So what are the public and protected member of class A? X and Y. So the X is public member of class A. This is the class A, and Y is protected member of class A. Those became private members in class D, because D is inherited in private mode from A here. So but Z is not accessible from the D here. So anyway, the outcome of this one is, for any modes of operation, the private members of base class are not accessible by its derived class here. Private members of base class are not accessible by derived class. If you want to access, you have to use the public members of that base class, and you can access the private member of those classes here. So there are some key points regarding this. So in inheritance here, so the constructors and destructors of a base class are not inherited in any cases here. Suppose base class will have the constructors, derived class will have some constructors, right? Base class constructor and destructors are there. When a class is derived from the base class, all constructors or destructors of base class are not inherited into the derived class. Next, assignment operators are also not inherited into the derived class. Friend functions and friend classes of the base class are also not inherited. Suppose we have a base class, and to that base class there are friend classes or friend functions, right? So those are also not inherited in its derived class here, right? So next, derived class does not have access to the base class private members. Already in modes of operation, in the table, the last row you can see here. In any cases, in any mode of inheritance, private members of base class are not accessible by the derived class. And derived class has access to all public protected members of the base class. So anyway, the derived class has access to all the public protected member of the base class here, right? So these are the important points which you have to note it down. So next, types of inheritance, right? So based on the hierarchy of the classes, right? So that is we have the various types of inheritances: single level inheritance, multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, and hybrid inheritance. There are 5 types of inheritances in C++, right? So first, you can see in diagrammatically also it is shown here. This is the inheritance type: single level, multiple, multi-level, hierarchical, and hybrid inheritance, right? 5 types of inheritances are there. You can go through the implementation of those. First, let us see single level inheritance. Single level inheritance is inheritance which is having only one base class, one derived class, right? Basically, these are divided into number of categories based on the number of base classes and number of derived classes. And what is the relationship between the derived classes and base classes, right? So here in single level inheritance, there is only one base class and one derived class, right? So the derived class derives the properties from the base class here, right? So you can syntax class, subclass, name, access specifier. Already we have seen the modes of accessing the base class, either public, private, protected, and superclass name or base class name you can give here. So there are some terminologies we can use for child class, either subclass, child class, derived class. For the existing class, base class, superclass, or parent class also we can call here. And this is the code which is specific to the subclass here, right? So that is, if you want to add any new members, new properties into the derived class, that you can add here. And if you want to add new operations, new functions, if you want to implement, you can implement here. So now this is the diagrammatic representation of the single inheritance. So this is the class A and class B. Class B is derived from the class A. So here it is having only one parent class and one child class here. So the parent class can be called, existing class can be called parent, super, base class. This can be called child class, subclass, or derived class here. So you can see the code here where we can use simply, we have the animal base class animal, and which is having some name, string name, which is empty here. And by default, every member of a class is private here. In C++, by default, every member of a class is private if you will not specify the access specifier. You can see here string name. We have not specified any access specifier, either public or private, protected, but by default the access specifier is private in C++ here, class, right? And these two are public members. One is tail equal to 1 and legs equal to 4. These are the public members, because these public members directly can be initialized. This is the base class here. So this program is for demonstration of the single inheritance. We have the single base class, that is animal. It is having 3 members. One is name, tail, legs here, right? And closing the declaration of the parent class. Similarly, you can see here now class dog is inherited or deriving the class animal in which mode? Public mode here, right? And which is defining its own member here. Dog class is defining its own function, that is void voice action. So cout box. So what dog action is there? That message which is going to be displayed here. Now declaration of the derived class is over, right? So we have the 2 classes. One is animal class, another one is dog. Dog is derived from the animal here. So animal class is having the 3 members. What are those? Name as well as number of tails and legs here. And whereas dog is derived from the animal, which is having its own function, voice action, and some message, box message, which is going to be displayed here. Now you can see the main function. So this is in the main function, you are creating only dog objects. So dog is what? Derived class, not parent class here. Parent class is animal, dog is derived class. You are creating only dog object, and you are trying to access the members of the animal class. Legs are what? Public members of the animal class. Tail is what? Public member of the animal class. So because those also become, because public member of the parent class becomes a public members in the derived class, right? Because the class dog is inherited in public mode, right? So that's what you can directly access, dog dot plus dog dot tail here. So which will displace the values whatever you have initialized, and dog dot voice action method will be called here, function will be called. So this is what member of the derived class. You can directly use the dog object, you can access here, so which will displace the message, right? So dog has 4 legs, one tail, and box message which is going to be displayed here. So we have the one more types of inheritance, multiple inheritance. In the multiple inheritance, we have the 2 base classes and only one derived class is there. So one class is derived from the more than one base classes. Such a inheritance is called multiple inheritance here, right? So deriving a new class from more than one base classes, that is called multiple inheritance. This is the base class 1 and base class 2. Class A, class B are the 2 base classes. Class C is a derived class. C is derived from class A and class B here. So C will inherit the properties of A as well as B, and it will have its own properties here, right? See, present here some example program to demonstrate the multiple inheritance here. First, I have taken one parent class, class student marks is the parent class which I am taking here, and I am declaring protected members, roll number, marks 1, marks 2, and public here. Public members, that will in next slide you can see here. So public member is, there is a one function, member function void get, and it is just takes the values of roll number and marks 1, marks 2 of a student, right? So you know, C out, enter the roll number, C in will take the roll number, initializes the roll number with some value, enter the 2 highest marks here, and C in marks 1 and marks 2. 2 subject marks are given here, and close the function definition, there is a get function, and close the class. So the main class is the first base class, what is student marks class is declaration is over, and then go for the one more class, class co-curricular marks here. So one class is declared for the student marks, another class is declared for the co-curricular marks here, and again it is having protected member int co marks here, public void get marks, enter the marks for co-curricular activities. Here you will read the co-curricular marks here. So here subject marks as well as co-curricular marks for both 2 different classes are declared here. One is student marks class, another one is co-curricular curricular marks class here. From this you are going to derive a class result here. So the result class is derived from 2 base classes, public in public mode, student marks, and same public mode co-curricular marks here. So when a new class is derived from more than one base classes, those are separated by commas, you can see here. So result is the derived class which is derived from 2 base classes, one is student marks, another one is co-curricular marks here. These are separated by commas, and for each class inheritance you have to specify specifically access specifier in which mode you want to inherit the student marks class, and in which mode you want to inherit the co-curricular marks class. So both are in public mode, so these 2 are separated by commas here, right? Now the result class is derived from the student marks class and co-curricular marks class, and in which what it is doing here, taking the marks of subject from the student marks class, taking the marks from the co-curricular class here, and which is doing some total sum. Total marks equal to marks 1 plus marks 2 plus co-curricular marks, and which is declaring their own members like total marks and average marks. So average marks equal to total marks by 3, and in addition, after calculating the average marks, which is displaying roll number and average marks of a student who obtained the marks in subject as well as marks in co-curricular here, right? So which is what it is doing here, inheriting the properties of student marks class, inheriting the properties of co-curricular marks class. Properties are nothing but members of those classes, and in addition to it is declaring their own members for calculating total and average here, right, and close here. So this represents multiple inheritance here. So what is the output you can expect here? So now in the main function, simply you are creating object of the result class. Just you are declaring, you are creating object of the result class, because result class is inherited from the or derived from the class student marks and co-curricular. So then automatically the members of student marks class as well as co-curricular marks class becomes the members of the result class. So then you no need to create the object for student marks class and co-curricular marks class here. Simply create the object for the result class and call the members of the methods of their parent classes. So res.get. So get is the what? Member of the student marks class. So you can call that. So which will read the subject marks, and get SM. So which is the member of the co-curricular marks class. So by using the result object, you can call that read co-curricular activities marks, and display is anyway it is the members of the result class, right? So you can directly call res display here. Display function will display student roll number and average marks obtained here, right? So this is output which you will get here. So enter the roll number 25 and highest marks of 40, 50, and enter the marks for co-curricular activities 30 here, which is displaying roll number, total marks and average marks of the student here, right? So in the next class, we'll discuss about remaining 3 types of inheritances, right? So as of now, we have discussed about 2 types, single level and multiple inheritance. And next class we'll discuss, we have the multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance and hybrid inheritances are there. We'll discuss. Thank you.